Hello everyone, et bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to the 12th Annual Canadian Science Policy Conference interview series. My name is Peter Serles and I'm one of the CSPC chairs for this year.
Hi everyone, bonjour. My name is Wendi Zhou and I'm also one of the chairs for the 2020 CSPC interview series. Welcome. We have the pleasure today of interviewing the one and only Dr. Mehrdad Hariri, President and CEO of the Canadian Science Policy Centre. Mehrdad, thank you for joining us.
Hello, Wendi and Peter, and thank you for having me.
So, Mehrdad, in our 3 years working together, I can certainly say that the CSPC has never had a dull moment. While best known for the conference in November, the CSPC has had many initiatives throughout the year, coming from a whole variety of different committees and subgroups. Can you tell us a little more about what some of the other initiatives and behind-the-scenes efforts are of the CSPC?
Sure, yes, Peter, indeed, I agree with your statement about the CSPC, and thank you for saying that. But first, let me thank you and Wendi as the co-leads of the interview project for the outstanding job that the two of you have done on this interview series. You did an amazing job, and I want to thank you sincerely for this, and also the technical team who have been performing these interviews and producing a very high quality material at the end. Meantime, I also want to give a huge kudos and thank you and congratulations to all CSPC team members. That includes the staff, but especially the volunteers who have done really an amazing job in all around, all aspects of the CSPC programs, especially the conference, but also other ones that we are going to talk about. The work that we have been doing, as you know, would not have been possible without the support of obviously our partners, but also without the engagement and committed work of the volunteers who have done such a great job working really hard to deliver an outstanding task and for the conference, and also for other projects that we have had. This is because that we have created an environment that is very vibrant, is very inclusive, respect everyone, respect all the ideas, and allow this discussion around ideas and see how we can perform better, how we can do better, and listen to the others. And I think that this is a thank you to all who are involved with CSPC projects, and once again to our volunteers who are doing an amazing job. In terms of the projects, yes, you're right, we have done a lot so far, especially in terms of this year. Due to the pandemic, we have been able to immediately start some virtual sessions, and I think over the course of last few months we have delivered 16 to 17 virtual sessions on the most important pressing issues of science and policy around the pandemic. And we have generated a website of COVID resources gathered around, I don't know how many hundreds of the resources related to COVID in a kind of a database for people to see. And also an editorial, which you have been involved, Peter, on this directly, and 3 issues of editorials with around, I believe, 70 editorials from wide range of perspectives, Canadian and also international, who discussed and presented their views on various angles of the pandemics where it touches the society and policy. We are obviously presenting a magazine, the second issue of magazine, which is coming out very soon, and I think it will be, it is posted in the conference platform and people can watch it if I'm not mistaken. And that magazine has got actually very good editorials, a lot on COVID, but also on other issues. And I highly recommend that our participants to take some time to review the magazine and take a look at these editorials that we have put there. We are going to have a second round of Science Meets Parliament, will be is already, I think, announced. And for that, as you know, that Science Meets Parliament was supposed to be done in May 2020, due to pandemic obviously delayed, and hopefully we can have a second round of Science Meets Parliament in the spring of 2021. As part of the pandemic and as be responsive to the community, and also dealing with the new issues, new perspectives that coming and emerge from the new realities on the ground. We are conducting a survey for parliamentarians to see how the parliamentarians view have or have not changed due to the pandemic when it comes to the use of science and evidence in policymaking at the political level. And this is with the help of numerous individuals that we have engaged them in this project, and hopefully we can have the results of this published maybe in sometime in winter or spring. The workshops are continuing. In fact, we were pleased and honored to deliver the first set of workshops to MyTax Science Policy Fellows and also MEPAR as part of their annual conference, and continue to do so virtually, obviously. And we have launched a CSPC program membership. We really didn't have time to promote it as much as we wanted due to the busy schedule of the conference, but we will promote this to the community that CSPC is now have a new platform and new mechanism for engagement of the organizations. And finally, I must say that the new website is on and live, and we are hoping to have more creative ways of presenting the projects that we are working on. Was that enough, Peter?
Well, certainly an extensive list of things going on, and it's always great to see as a volunteer where you have tons of ideas and plenty of things that you're championing, but you're also very open to working with us volunteers and seeing how we want to run with projects. So it's a really great way to develop.
Thank you, Peter, for that credit. I appreciate your comment. The ideas, some of them are mine, but I must say that the ideas come to you when you work with a very vibrant, again, innovative group of young people, especially, and that's important. And they all have ideas as well, and we try to implement and modify and make sure they are emerging in the form of projects as well. So credit to them as well.
Absolutely.
I'd like to echo that and mention how great of an experience it is to be a volunteer as part of the CSPC community. And this is only my first year, but it's been an honor to be involved in all the many different projects. And as you've gone through so many of them, to follow up on that, we can imagine that you have faced many challenges over the years. Can you describe some of these challenges, and how have you and the rest of the CSPC team overcome these challenges? In particular, a key provision of the CSPC is its ability to keep the science policy community engaged and connected. So how have you done this?
Thank you, Wendi, for that question. Yes, indeed. Like any other project, especially when it's grassroots, when it's initiated by individuals rather than, let's say, by government or institution that allocates some sort of funding to this project, it's always hard to move forward with a new project and in a grassroots form. And obviously, we had so much of challenges at the beginning. It was again, this is not stranger to us or strange or unique to us. All the new ideas is hard to convey your message, to connect with others, and to convince people that this is important and must be taken serious. This is one set of challenges that we had. Like any other new grassroots initiative, it is hard to be accepted by overall, within the society. So you have to work hard, you have to deliver the best, and you have to make sure that this is that you work continuously, listen to people. That's one set of challenge. The other one, I would say, with respect to science policy, sometimes, and I've mentioned that actually before at the conference, that at some point at the beginning, I was told, how about changing the name of the conference to Science Innovation Policy Conference, because science may not be, some people may not think it's as important as innovation. And so science policy at the beginning was kind of not well known to everyone. Not well accepted by everyone as an important issue when you go beyond science community, I mean. Obviously, these are an important issue for science community, but when you go beyond that, it was hard, it was challenging, and now the landscape is completely different. Everyone, I must say, within even the public at large, they know the importance of science in policy making and the importance of science policy. Organizations are aware of this, so the landscape is completely changed now. I think the other challenge that we had, lack of resources, as always, is challenge to keep up with the ideas that you have, all the ambition and new programs that the organization has in mind, but we don't have as much as resources that we hope. or we would like. So that was a challenge. Again, things have become much better now. We are well recognized within the Canadian society, within the community of science and innovation, and we are supported by our partners. I'm so proud of the partnership that they have with us, and I want to thank them for the generous support over the years and making sure that we survive and we continue our operation. But one, how to cope with these challenges, obviously working hard, be perseverance. That is the most important thing. Make sure that you work hard, you deliver the best, and I must say another secret: listen to people. And listen to the organizations, listen to the individuals, and make sure that you deliver based on the needs of the community, of the society, and changing the way to do things in terms of making sure that you respect the choice of the individual people, organizations, and their needs. And this is what we have been doing. And being surrounded, as I said, by committed individuals, thinkers, and especially young people who work really hard and present new ideas to the whole mechanism. So that was how we survived. That was how we are moving forward. And I'm proud to say so far we have been doing very good. And hopefully the community is happy with what we are doing. And I suppose that you had asked this question to your interviewees, and let's see what they have told you.
Well, it definitely seems like the hard work has paid off, considering this is the 12th version of the conference. And definitely it seems that communication as one of the most important factors in keeping the conference going and keeping any project going is very apparent, and the success is obvious. Thank you for that.
So this year's theme of the conference is grand challenges, and nothing can be really more fitting for a year with so many challenges. We've seen challenges in healthcare, biomanufacturing, to equity and representation, national and international collaborations, but the CSPC continues to play a pretty dominant role as a convener of minds and really bridges that gap between science and policy and everything from grassroots up to presidents of some of Canada's biggest organizations. So how do you see that the CSPC has risen to some of these grand challenges and helped facilitate Canada's response?
Yeah, thank you, Peter. I think this is a very important question. Let me just give a bit of background. As you said, we have been facing as a global community serious challenges, and climate change, food security, inequality, and polarization, and even threat to our democracies, right? And many more. This was before COVID, and due to 2020, the beginning of the third decade of the third millennium, we used the grand challenges as one of the overarching themes of the conference. So, and then it became COVID. All those challenges that we have been facing now become much more complex, much more important, and we are facing now, to some extent, maybe the issue of resources, limited resources. And this is a huge issue that will show itself, I think, in future more and more. How, as a planet, as a society, as a human being, how we are going to cope and meet these challenges. And I think we believe that there is only two answers to this. Number one, science and evidence. Number two, an inclusive action into this, so that we make sure that everybody's heard, everybody's engaged, everybody's included. There is no one left outside of the circle of thinking, presenting ideas, planning, and acting and doing things. So this inclusive environment is hugely important, but also making sure that science and evidence is a big part of this piece. And when I refer to science, I don't mean just only natural experimental sciences and engineering. I mean all sciences that include social sciences and humanities, which will have actually a huge role post-pandemic or even during the pandemic. We have to think completely different, with different mentality now about our institutions, about our government, about our the way that organizations deal with each other or interact with each other. and human interaction is under question mark. We have to develop new ideas around that. Many of these are social sciences. So my point is that our challenges have become only more complex, more difficult to meet, and requires serious commitment to inclusiveness, to dialogue, to discussion, to listen to everyone and act together in a multidisciplinary format, multi-sectoral format, multi-generational format, within the global, along with the global community, along with other countries, international collaborations. So these are the new, the values and the methods that we have been using before. It becomes way more important post-COVID to meet the challenges. As CSPC, as a small non-profit organization, we are trying to be, as you said, in Canadian landscape, to some extent global. In fact, as we are getting more attraction from global community as a major forum on science policy, we are trying to be the convener, one of the conveners in that front, and bring the minds and ideas and discussions together through various platforms. We are trying to connect the communities together, communities across Canada, global communities that sometimes are fragmented, sometimes they do not have means to contribute to this discussion and present their values and their ideas and their solutions. And between the generations, and one of the, as you know, that one of the things that we are so proud, usually in our gathering and in all our operations, but especially the conference, we have a huge body of students, graduate students, that, you know, they get to interact with very important decision makers of science and innovation enterprises. So we want to make sure we connect communities together, we convene them, and also we have the forms and the mechanisms to enable and to train the next generation of science policy experts and leaders. So this is, I think, it becomes very important in future, even more than before, and we are hoping to do more in future as well.
Great. Well, yeah, certainly looking at the diverse range of panels that we're expecting at CSPC, there's a lot of the big grand challenges have been touched, as well as many of the COVID-related ones. We're still looking at EDI, quantum, climate change, and many other issues that are being tackled in this modern society. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing all the diverse voices coming together to talk about this.
Excellent. Thank you.
Seems like there have been many different ambitions for the conference. So that brings us to our next question. Now that we have the opportunity to ask you, as the founder of the conference and the center, what was your vision at the time when you first started CSPC? Why did we need a forum or a science policy center, and what has the CSPC achieved, and where is it going to be in the next few years?
Wendi, thank you for this question. I should refer you to a paper that myself and our volunteer at the time, Jeff Sharom, co-published in University Affairs. We need a forum on science policy, and you should read that. But thank you for that question. And that, by the way, that article was one of the highest ranked paper for that year. I think we were so happy about this. But why we needed a science policy forum and center, it was my preoccupation, my mind. I had this idea that the science is not enough, based on my very late and uneducated at the time, I must say, about science policy, that we need a stronger tie between scientific and policymaking communities. I felt that, science is not playing a major role in policymaking and decision-making, and scientific community in particular often does not have the systematic links with the policymaking community. And what can we do about this? And the idea of forum was to kind of bring communities, scientific community and policymaking community together to discuss the pressing issues of science policy. So, and I thought, as in Canada, I think we deserve to have a national forum to get together every year to discuss these issues in a major platform and have a national and inclusive conversation around issues of science and policy, and that became the idea that with the help of individuals at the time, we were able to establish the first conference. And I think since then we have contributed to formation of really a community of science policy across Canada. We are, as you know, we are a very decentralized country. We needed that national forum to bring everyone to be together, to plan for collaboration, to meet, to discuss things together. And that was the idea for the forum. But also very soon I noticed that we need organizations. The science policy landscape is so important that needs new and agile organizations, in fact, to be active in this field. And the need for center was very clear for me. I remember even I met with one of the provincial policymakers at the highest level, a deputy minister, and presented the idea of a center. And in fact, partly you may like this part, the magazine was also in my notes, was included in that note that, you know, Canada deserved to have a national science policy magazine. It must be, and they really liked it, by the way. But my point is that the country obviously needs a science policy center, not just one, many of the other organizations, peripheral organizations, to help the connection and be the convener, to train the new generation and to do things around science and policy and bring these two community together at the private sector and non-profit sector, and link Canada with international community. So that, for me, it was a must do, a must have, and Center on Science Policy. Thankfully, and we are very thankful for other individuals in the landscape. We have so many of them, so many different types. You know, many of them emerged in the past decades, and we should be so pleased and happy and support all of them that they work in this environment and making sure that science policy is an important issue for policymakers, for scientific community, and for Canadians at the end of the day. So I'm happy that the landscape is significantly changed now, and CSPC is a major player, and we hope that we continue doing so.
I think we've seen elements of those success in many different places, especially all the partners and members of the community that we've been interviewing have echoed the same thoughts in their comments on the value of the CSPC. So definitely hope for many years going forward.
Thank you.
Certainly. So in this entirely unprecedented year, as we like to say, as the CSPC has had to move to an entirely virtual format, what are some of the creative methods the CSPC has employed to adapt to any issues that have come along with this? And have any new opportunities arisen as a result of this change? And what really can we expect at this year's virtual conference?
Peter, thank you. As you know, you have been part of this process. It has not been easy. We have all been learning and trying to see what we can do to replace an in-person conference, which offers a huge level of interactivity and meetings and face-to-face discussion. So how can we basically face the challenge of virtual meeting, but also present the similar level, not quite the same. Obviously, the virtual setting would be different. We understand that, and everybody, I guess, understand that. So, but one thing that we are trying to accomplish here with the virtual setting is, other than presenting panels online that everyone can see, other than, you know, reducing the registration fee significantly so that we can have more people on board with this discussion. So no longer, you know, a price tag is an obstacle for individuals to attend, travel costs, etc. So that's number two. Number three is that we were trying to also provide the interactivity opportunity for people to have interactions online. So we are hoping, and again, this is a platform, online platform. As always, there are some challenges with technology, sometimes often out of our hands and sometimes out of anybody's hands, right? So it's you cannot help it, but we are hoping to provide interactive options for delegates to chat with each other directly, even at some points to be able to video conference with each other. And we were hoping to have a kind of a 3D version of exhibit space at our conference so that our partners can present themselves in just more than an icon online, just to be clickable, more than just something nicer, and also be able to video conference with those who are visiting these exhibits. So in addition to that, now this is virtual. We were hoping to be able to have a kind of unconference format. We called it open mic sessions that people can attend and can present their ideas. You know, everyone has a chance to say things based on the topic of that, let's say, open mic session, and be able to express their ideas and their viewpoints. This part something that we were limited in-person conference. Now that is online, we are more capable of doing this. And overall, I think the diversity of topics, the diversity of those who participate in this, and some level of interactivity is accomplished. So that remains to be seen by participants and to be judged by them. But we are hoping, we did a lot of work on this, and we are hoping to do to some extent an acceptable work, and look forward to see the feedback from participants. I really encourage you to present your ideas, your suggestions, your feedback, your critical view with us in the survey, surveys of the conference. Let us know what we have done good or best, or what we have not done good, or where are our weaknesses, so that we can make sure that we deliver better next time around. But as you know, in terms of the topics, I must say, I must thank our panel organizers, and I must say that in terms of the program and topic, it's a fascinating program in place, and we were all of us in program committee, we were quite impressed with the quality of panel proposals that were submitted to us, and we had about 93 submissions for panels, and out of those we had a very hard time to select the best to present at the conference, because they were most of them were extremely high quality material. With respect to content, I'm sure that we have a very high quality conference in place. In terms of technology, I'm hoping for the best, and look forward to see the suggestions from people.
Great. Well, yeah, certainly as it's come together, it's been a lot of different efforts on arranging the platform, getting a lot of the same experience into an online version. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing it come to.
Yes, indeed.
I'm very much looking forward to the conference as well, especially since this is my first time. It's going to be an exciting and different experience, and there sounds like there are many interesting panels and talks and activities to look forward to. So
right.
Thank you again, Mehrdad, for joining us for this interview, and we hope that the conference will be a great success. We're sure it's going to be a great success, and hope that everybody will enjoy it.
Thank you, Wendi, and thank you, Peter, for this opportunity. And again, look forward to working with you again. And once again, I want to thank our team, our staff, our volunteers, and our event planner team and technology platform, our board. But also, I must thank our partners who provided support for us, so that we are enabled to provide this forum to everyone. And thanks to panel organizers and also panelists, and look forward to very enriched discussions.